All right. Well, thank you for tuning in and listening to the Two Tokens and Digital Bytes podcast.
Good morning.
A good evening, or it could be good night. I'm not sure. The people are going to be watching this all over the place, all over the world. Alex and I have been doing the masterclasses now. This is our 7th one.
Yeah.
We got together in nearly 10 years ago, looking at how blockchain technology and digital assets. At the time, it was mainly around the crypto side, but obviously now that's evolved into sort of tokenized money, tokenized real estate, tokenized funds, all sorts of things. And today we're delighted to be joined by Linda, co-founder of BARP.
Yeah.
And delighted my partner in crime, Alex Bausch, who's chairman of Two Tokens. Good to see you, Alex.
Yeah. Mr. Digibytes.
Mr. Digibytes. That's me, not you. Yeah.
So I'm really pleased to have you here because when we were in the beginnings of the crypto economy era, 2016, 2018, 19, remember those shady figures with piles of bank notes buying. Those days are long gone.
Thank goodness.
But I think it's quite necessary to also upskill and upgrade the crime fighting units. So tell us a little bit about your analysis tool. Because
Well, first, can you tell us a little bit about you and your background, and then and how you got involved with BARP?
BARP,
and what BARP stands for?
Yeah, this blockchain analysis reporting platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And well, my background, I'm 38 now, so I don't know how much of my background do you want to hear?
Last 5 or 6 years.
So my background started at mentoring youth criminals.
Mm-hmm.
So I really know a lot about the psychology with criminals, but also how they work and operate. Because
Alex has been a good case study for you, hasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know.
But I worked for a forensic crime company, Fox IT, for many years, and they did forensics analysis on IT, and it was a lot of social engineering back in the day. I'm talking 2000 to 2005.
It still is.
Kevin Mitnick. So he was the one who, did a lot of investigating. But I can only imagine that in decentralized Web3 crypto, things have evolved. And chain analysis was the name to follow, of course. But it's great that we have one here now at the table.
Thank you. Yeah, what I often say is that criminal behavior doesn't change.
No.
So we're having technology right now, but the misuse of technology, blockchain, AI, that doesn't matter because criminal behavior and patterns are always the same, right? They operate most of the times with new phenomena, but also in anonymity. They also love that. And that's why if you know how they work and operate and you know how they think, you're able to see it up front. And that's where my journey started back in the COVID days. I was really fascinated about the whole decentralization and the centralization. And during that time, I was also an advisor for the mayor in topics related crime fighting, preventing crime, working with law enforcement, but also during COVID, seen up front and nearby how our departments was responsible for the message around and translating around COVID and the impact at people. And I was so fascinating about, this is a centralized world and there is a decentralized thing called Bitcoin.
Right.
That I was like, whoa, what is this? And I really saw directly, maybe the criminals are already in it, but we don't see it because there's a knowledge gap.
Yeah.
So if I know it, then they know it.
They know it.
Yeah, because they always operate.
They're usually ahead of the game, huh?
Yeah.
The smart ones, anyways.
But also, with a lot of crime, prevention is almost better than trying to cure it after.
Yeah.
So most of us today will have locked our homes and we'll have actually turned the lock on the door. You don't just leave your home open. You don't leave your car, the keys in the ignition.
Yeah.
And that's, I know it's very simplistic, but that's very much what your company's doing. It's trying to help law enforcement agencies and businesses and banks and asset managers and notaries, teach them to be able to educate their clients. How do you look after your digital assets in a secure way?
Yeah, we do. Except that we're mostly focused with BARP, or we focused on BARP with BARP on financial institutions, notary, so everyone who has a gatekeeper role, right? And because we want to prevent crime from happening, and there are a lot of tools that can really excellent help, like chain analysis, to transaction monitoring when the crime already did happen.
Yeah.
But we want to lower the barrier, the technical barrier within blockchain investigations by making it accessible for financial institutions, for gatekeepers, for the notary, to do a source of wealth investigation.
Okay, so when a client comes to see a financial institution or a regulated entity, they need to understand how do they check out where the money's come from, the source of funds.
Yeah.
And that's part of what you're able to provide. If it's digital assets, you're able to give them the tools to say, is this legitimate? Has it come from tumbling? Has it come from a sanctioned person? Yes. Those sorts of checks, your system. Okay.
We got a risk monitor, but we got also a module that's Know Your Wallet. So legal advisors can see at the time, okay, what's in the wallet, for example. So that's how we lower the barrier for technical.
Well, and Alex, this is going to become a bigger and bigger issue. You know, we joke that we were around when they were doing initial coin offerings, and it was just the Wild West.
Right.
But you've done a lot of work with Power of the Many.
Yes.
The two tokens have helped to actually create, which is tokenization of electrons of energy, and we were discussing earlier with Eric in terms of how you could potentially use energy as a form of money.
Yes.
But before you do any of that, you need to make sure that people that have got access to this, have they got the proper systems and processes and wallets or custodians in place, which obviously a company like yours can help provide.
Yes.
Because we're going to see more than just crypto is a rounding error largely. It's 2 or 3 trillion, but as we start to see tokenization of real estate and funds, and
well, it depends if you the use case, the more money there's involved, the more necessary it will be to have tools like BARP.
Yeah.
Right? And so let me ask you, is most of the cases, you say you are going for prevention, so that that would indicate that you do it before.
Yeah.
But can you also use your tools for forensics analysis afterwards, in order to find where
the money is
coins went?
Yeah.
And
no, and that's a thing we did purposely, because there are a lot of tools are really doing that already, and commercially it's not something that, okay, look, I have my background in combating crime, so my heart is over there, but I actually want to prevent it from happening, right?
got it.
So, and there are great tools that are already doing that, so why should we? And to lower the barrier in the investigation, because we know for a fact that criminals are always using the knowledge gap, right? And if the knowledge gap is too big, then they are looking to exploit it.
Exploit it.
Yeah, and they're abusing it also, and that's better to prevent that than actually doing the tracing afterwards, right?
Yeah. So
but you're not just doing it in Holland, are you? This is
it's international. Yeah.
International.
Yeah.
And is there any particular jurisdiction that seems to be more receptive to listen to you and the message you're offering?
Yeah. Look, there are some jurisdictions that they have problems with really facing challenge, and the regulators also. And I don't want to say it up front, right? Because I think that's not good for them also. But in Holland, we are so good regulated, right? That's also giving problems in combating crime. I see that most of the time.
Right.
Because we are so fragmented. And if we got signals with law enforcement, we're not able to give them directly to other law enforcement in order to solve crime, because there are a lot of rules over here in which you have to obey in order to really give the signals to the other parties, and that's not okay.
So there should be a multidisciplinary overarching group kind of, which is not there.
No, yeah, it is, because in the form of AMLA, it's coming, but then that's from Europe, right? But
hang on a second, UMLA.
Yeah.
What does UMLA stand for?
Oh, I forgot it, right?
Don't worry, we'll move on. We can continue that one out.
But it brings together fiscal, criminal, bank,
it's a European regulator and a European.
So it's a bit like Europol, something like that. So bringing different agencies together.
Maybe we have to cut it out, but it's coming. It's coming, and
that's fine.
Well, this topic, maybe it's too difficult to explain either way.
No, but more importantly, because it's such a multidisciplinary game, you have to bring all these different parts from law enforcement together, whether it's fiscal or
And it's for Europe, but the problem over there is, I think, okay, it is there, AMLA's coming, but the real big problem is how are regulators gonna work with it in the different countries.
Depends if it's just an advice or a directive.
No, it's directive.
Oh, then they have to.
Yeah, but
that's what MiCA was also directive.
Right, but the signals has to come from the cities, and if there are not recognizing signals, then you don't have anything.
Yeah.
And
that's the real.
And you're involved with 2 Tokens. You got an event with one of the big Dutch banks this
yes, so in September, we are organizing the 2 years after MiCA symposium, and BARP is one of the sponsors and speakers.
Yes, great,
brilliant.
We really love it. Yeah.
So if you want to sign up, you should come. You
should come.
Yeah,
fill your clogs, as they say, or fill your boots.
Yeah.
Well, so last year I was also at the symposium.
Yeah.
And it's not because we're sponsoring it. But there was a really good quality with knowledge of MiCA, and it was really excellent. So, and somebody's working with law enforcement. It was really great.
Yeah. For since we started, we were always going deep, right, rather than going, and so all this information, all these white papers, it's all here. So, and it's with the people. It's
brilliant.
A lot of people, for instance, 3 years ago, we did a symposium on property law and tokenization. And 3 years later, it's still not solved, right? So you know that in the UK, the common law, it's possible now, right?
It's possible.
You can just tokenize property and transfer that token, and the property is yours. But not so in the Netherlands.
No,
we still need to make some changes.
Look, you can go back further than that. Look at all the work you were doing with the Port of Rotterdam in terms of tokenizing bills of lading.
Yes,
and that was real pioneering work you've done.
Yes,
but the Dutch are good at that. They invented all sorts of things like mutual funds.
And then the Brits take it and they scale it.
Absolutely. And then the Americans come along and commercialise it. There you go. Well, Linda, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And looking forward to the masterclass. And
yes,
if people want to get more information about your company, what's your website address? Or
this www, right? 3 W's.
Yes.
BARP.io.
That's BARP.
Yeah.
.io.
And what's your business model? Is it a service model or by people
software
buy
as a service? Yeah.
Software as a service.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us, Alex.
Thank you for the invitation.
Nice to see you again, and we'll be back with another episode very shortly. Thank you for listening to us.
Yeah.
So, Linda, we were talking earlier on about some of the work, and you've recently taken on an advisory role in Rotterdam.
Yeah, Rotterdam, region of Rotterdam,
Okay, and
so they asked me, because there's a lot of crypto, and the Dutch OM, so the Dutch prosecutor, there saw some cases where there were money laundering involved. And it's all about visionary mindset, right? Dus there was also been in the, the Dutch, oh my God, how do you say that? Leidinggevende.
Yeah. The lead, the manager.
Yeah, the manager. Yeah, it's so simple, right? It's like, this is the brain fart I'm talking about.
No problem.
So the manager over there is really, she had a clear vision of the future, and also she saw already, okay, the crypto is mostly also a part of it, and the Dutch IM also saw it in case studies. So they were like, okay, we have to hire someone who's getting the knowledge, that has the knowledge to train our employees, but also has the knowledge to build a program in order to combating crime with crypto and online crime. And that's where they asked me. So that's a great, because I already saw it like six years ago that it was coming. Because of the criminal behavior, because of my background. And then when somebody is asking you, that's a really great compliment. So I'm really loving it because I see.
And so what will you do in the program? Because the setting up the program is to educate, young prosecutors and law enforcement.
What we're doing is, so there is a collaboration between local agencies over there, police agencies, and the Dutch OM, the FIU. And if we get a signal where crypto is involved or online crime, we're gonna look at the signal and we're gonna think about how to prevent it from actually further going south with the criminals. And that's also with the tax authorities and stuff. Yeah. So I see it on daily practice. That is becoming a real part because we see it, because we can signal it, because they have the knowledge.
Of course.
Yeah. And when I went into blockchain, I also saw this coming because the knowledge gap, they're looking for phenomena where there's no oversight, but there's also no knowledge involved in order to do their illegal business. It's always what they're doing.
Yeah, we need to continuously train and upskill professionals, right?
Yeah, Alex, this is what two tokens have been doing now for a while. And the book Funny Money we've just written there. If you want to show the readers, there you go. You can see it. Funny Money, and what that is, that's a combination in the last 3 years of podcasts that we do once a week, but also weekly analysis, and we sort of merged it together and just try to explain to people who's using different blockchains, who's using digital assets. As I said earlier on, that no longer we just focus on sort of cryptocurrencies, but looking at maybe tokenization of your house. Or
it's
shares.
So funny. I did a reading at that's called the Ring North Holland. It's a collaboration of the notary in the region North Holland here in Holland. And this was my foundation.
Funny Money.
Funny Money.
Yeah,
so
and
CBDCs,
I didn't know the book
economy,
because that is really what they're imagine. They can fantasize it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was talking about, how is this related in practical cases?
Yep.
With their gatekeepers role and what is the future about? And they were like, without explaining what crypto is, technical, right? So we talked about Bitcoin, but then we talked about that because for me, it's actually about that and what's coming in the future.
It's a full circle, right? Because when we started Two Tokens, the reason why this is called Two Tokens is because we were asked to make a roadmap how to use crypto. But then they said, if you make that roadmap, please never ever use the word crypto or Bitcoin or blockchain because that's scary. It's that's for the criminals. So we said, no, it's the token economy, stupid. And now we're full circle, and now people call tokenization crypto and vice versa, which isn't true, of course. Yeah. But
no, I don't use that either. I want to set it apart, right? Because the whole thinking about crypto is that's criminal. No, it isn't criminal. But I love to talk about blockchain, the technology behind it, because the use cases are endless.
Yeah.
And also in detecting fraud, but also preventing fraud and crime from happening, right? Yeah. From white border criminality to lower down the road at the underworld, right?
Yeah.
And I really talk about that all the time.
Brilliant. Okay.
And you should be interesting that in this masterclass, it's masterclass 7 already. We have people from the tax authorities.
Yeah, great.
So, and they are really getting ready, gearing up.
Yeah, I know they have to. Yeah.
So you're going to have a great session this afternoon.
Yeah. And Alex, to be fair, as you know, I was with the Dutch National Bank earlier today, and they're very knowledgeable and very eager to be engaged and understand more because they can see, from institutions, they're not, again, it's not really crypto, but it's looking at the tokenizations of payments and how does that operate? How's that going to impact on the wider economy if money's taken out of the banks, and how do they get the credit, and how do we track and trace, and how much money is going in and out of Europe or Holland?
Well, that was a discussion we had with the European Commission at the Central Bank in October of last year, right?
Yeah,
so,
we ran that workshop with them.
Yeah, and they were very clear the token economy has already started. It's not if, it's just how fast will we scale.
Yeah, because law is in place, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where we come in. If law is in place, you have a gatekeepers function.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have to ease up the whole blockchain investigation in order to do our work and to prevent crime from happening and
so one of the things that we started with the Two Tokens Academy is MiCA workshops.
Yeah, I saw it online.
So
great.
because people, entities who have a MiCA license
now,
now,
very popular as well.
Yes, they are required by law to do training, for all their stuff, and that's something maybe you want to team up.
Yeah,
at some point,
Yeah, great. What I'm always saying, and also my business partner, he also has working with in the combating crime area, but in London, in England, but at the National Crime Agency, he was responsible for the cyber intelligence. And what we always say is that the vulnerability lies in your work process, not in the knowledge gaps also, but also in the work process. So how do you do the right work process? How do you, for compliance, for your gatekeeper role, how do you do that? And if you are willing to do that correctly, and that's what we also with BARP helping, then your vulnerability, they don't exploit then.
Yeah, you make it secure a system and process.
Yeah.
Makes it, and there's a lot, they'll go to other people more vulnerable.
Yeah. And they tell it to each other, right? They tell it. Mm-hmm. They tell, okay, you don't have to go to the Rabobank because you ask the right questions, and they're working with each other throughout the bank. If there's a signal, and they're...
Try another bank that's perhaps not quite so
but
vulnerable. They're
really doing it. And it doesn't matter if it's human trafficking or it's drug crime or it's money laundering. They don't care. They look how you are doing your work process, and if they see, okay, there's a gap between knowledge or your work process, they're gonna call you and they're gonna ask about your work process.
So it's all about recognizing patterns.
Yeah, it's all about criminal behavior.
Which comes back to your experience of criminal behavior. We're gonna have to wrap it up there. But great, thanks for coming in. Thanks, Alex, and thank you for the invitation.
Yep.
Thanks.
Brilliant.
Bye.
Bye.
That was it for today's podcast. Thank you for listening in, and please subscribe so you don't miss out on our upcoming episodes. If you want to get in touch with us, you can find our contact details at www.twotokens.org.